The start order is 17423985.
The Extra Lap RC Podcast.
Yes, this is the Extra Lap RC Podcast. My name's Aidan Burke, and as always, I'm joined by my bestest friend, Joey Cockle. How you doing, Joey?
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, mate. Nice to hear from you. Okay, we were going to do an episode just with you, Joe, but, you know, we thought we were getting a real superstar on. And,
Nice.
of course, I'm joined by my other best friend, Martin Owen. How you doing, Martin?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Are you excited that Joey's back?
Yeah, static.
Ecstatic. Do you think he'll last just this episode and we'll get rid of him again for another 10 weeks?
Yeah, probably, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully that's the plan. But, guys, it's lovely for us all three to be back. So I'm not being funny. We got you the best guest in the world. We've dropped other guests to get him on. Martin, who are we going to speak to tonight?
We have the one and only comeback kid, Darren Bloomfield.
Come back, kid. Hi, Darren. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Yeah, comeback kid. That's maybe I need to get that on the back of my t-shirt now.
Not a kid anymore.
Well, we can all act like it.
Well, true, yeah.
We do play with toy cars.
Exactly.
This is, true, again.
But you played with your toy car better than anybody else played with their toy car this weekend, Darren.
Yeah, as long as we're playing with toy cars and not playing with anything else, I guess that's all right.
That's fine. Stop it. Darren, for anybody, I'm sure everyone else who's listening to this knows, but, you know, last weekend was the final round of the BRCA UK 8th Nitro. It was at Nemo Raceway. I think the last time we spoke, which wasn't that long ago, you said you might get a bit of practice in before you got to the Nemo National. Did you do it?
No.
Nice.
No. I was going to go to Nemo, and then I realised you had to pay £35 to be a member to even be allowed up there. So I thought, nah, I'll keep my money. Yeah.
Keep your money. And so, how did the weekend go for you? How did it start?
Yeah, well, I had been there before because I went there last year for one of the COVID, 4-hour slots with Mike Lewis's car. So I'd been around it as such. That was a year and a half ago. The morning went well, practice went well, track was sort of lower grip than what everyone thought, and we got into qualifying, and I started off with a 6, I think. So yeah, it started just like every other national, really. A couple of rounds just to remember and get going again.
Okay. Not being an 8th person myself, some of these 8th national tracks, they look similar to me. So is the Nemo oiled surface similar to something else you'd run on, or had the CML team done a lot of work in it? And did you start on what you start on, or do you start on what the team says?
No, I started on what the team says because they've all got more knowledge than me. And to be fair, that had kind of grown since the last sort of 4 nationals where I was slowly learning things myself. Because it's not always what the team knows, it's also what you like. So, yeah, I'd kind of gone with what Neil had done and then started splitting away. And so, a bit of both, really. Starting where they are, where Neil was, but with the intentions of doing my own thing straight away with a couple of things I knew.
And what kind of changes were you making in the first rounds of qualifying?
Well, initially there was not much grip, it seems. So we were quickly going to softer tyres, slightly softer oil, maybe slightly softer diff oil. Then, especially when it rained in the evening, there was absolutely no steering. So we were sort of going with a lot less cast air, some more kick up in the less kick up in the front. So just normal things, really, just that tamper away, that just give you those little edges, and then the rest of it's just on driving, to be fair.
I always forget. Is it 4 rounds of qualifying for 8th?
8th is 2 3-minute practice rounds.
Mm-hmm.
4 rounds of qualifying up until about 6 o'clock on the Saturday evening. Then one final 5th round at 8 o'clock Sunday morning, and then about 9:30, 10 o'clock into the finals throughout the rest of the day.
Right, okay. So I'm trying to struggle to go through my phone to find the sort of the qualifying positions. Were you straight into the semis?
Yeah. So I qualified third overall.
Okay.
I TQ'd the fourth round, which is the last round on the Saturday evening, with some fairly good pace in the dry. I was helped out a little bit by the rain, but all said and done, I still went round well in a good time compared to the rest of the times for the day. So yeah, I was right up there, qualified third, which is Christmas tree final, so odds and evens, as we said before, I think on the last one. So I started second in the semi, finished second in the semi, to be fair. Neil walked away a little bit and beat me. I think my tyres were slightly too soft. Shocks were too soft, especially after the 15-minute mark. And then Johnny pipped us. So he beat Neil's time by a second. So we lined up 2 and 3, and Johnny snuck in at first with a better semi-final time. So I started third again. And then, yeah, we pushed on in the main, and again, we kind of split off a little bit. Neil got away again a little bit, but I chose to go for M3s in the final. So they were always going to take a minute or two to get in. But in the end, it took about probably 10 minutes to get in, 15. And it was an eventful final. Wow. I don't know if you've seen any results, or I think there was 7 cars that didn't finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. The only saving grace is I had caught everybody by the time they broke down. So I just got into sort of onto the back of Johnny's tail, and one corner later, his drive shaft failed. So that was where I finally got the lead. But it was nice to know that I had the speed and I had actually caught everyone and before they had their issues.
Yeah, I sorry, hands on heart. I struggle with just watching 45-minute finals. I think because when they are on Sunday, I've wrote this note down. I think CML, your team, should pay me to watch the Nitro finals. Because what seems to happen is I'll watch, I think this week we had RC Racing TV was doing that super coverage all around Europe, which is great. Normally I'm watching Ashley Patterson with his video, with his phone at the track. But what seems to happen is I'm at Southport racing my toy car, and then just as I'm leaving, like the Nitro finals start, or maybe when I'm at McDonald's on the way home, and then I get to a point where Craggy seems to be leading, and then I think, oh, that'll be it then, and just put my phone down and drive home. And then that's not happened at all for Craggy, at all. Because literally as soon as I put my phone down, I picked the thing up and gone. He looked like he was, I don't want to say walking away from it because it's a super competitive 8th field there, but, and then I put my phone down and then something's happened to him.
Yeah, he definitely creeps away at the start of both finals. I think I had to wait for my tyres to come in, and it was probably going to be a good race. But yeah, he's had some unfortunate luck this year with some engines and plugs and battery wire, I think, back in round 1. So just some not very good luck. You need luck. You can't have. I don't think any result doesn't come with a brush of luck. I don't think. Not in 8 scale. 10th scale, there's less to go wrong. Pit stops, fuel, mileage, everything like that. You definitely got to have a bit of luck at some point, shall we say.
Definitely.
And he hasn't had it. No.
So I think when we had you on, I think we laughed and joked at that time and said, well, not me funny, when you win a national. In fact, like you said it. I think because you'd come on after you hadn't had a great event and we got you on. And he said, next time when I win one, I'm not going to be funny. I think we all chuckled. And
yeah, we did.
we did.
Because I said, I can't remember. It was something to do with how quick you responded or something like that. Yes. And I said, if I win Brookthorpe, you better message me that night.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then I obviously didn't hear it. And then obviously the weekend, you text me, I don't know, was it like 6 or 7 o'clock on the Sunday night?
Yeah.
Perfectly on cue.
Perfectly on cue. And I did say congratulations first, and then remember when you said, well, so did you must have been, I don't put words in your mouth, but you must have been happy, fulfilled? What sort of feeling going through when you're back winning your first national since you've come back?
Honestly, the feeling is literally still there right now. I think. I just, yeah, after everything I've been through, breaking away from the industry, heading off to get a job, earning the money again, getting the weekends, getting entered into the nationals, getting everything together. And yeah, I got so close at Brookthorpe and I thought, wow, I can actually do this. So then when my speed started off better at Nemo and the tyres and everything was just ready sooner in the weekend, sort of Saturday lunchtime, I was like, "Oh, I could do this! Like, I'm right there with everyone at the minute." And it just transpired into. I mean, shortly into the final, I was thinking, "Oh shit, I chose the wrong tire," because I could just feel I just didn't have. I was trying a little bit too hard. Tire wasn't quite giving me the result back. They were creeping away, and I was thinking, damn it, missed it." But just carried on. And every now and then I was like, hold on a minute, they're only like a bit like Brookthorpe. It was like, hold on a minute, they're only like 6 corners away, which I know in a 10th scale race would seem like an oblivion. But in an 8th scale race, when you've still got 35 minutes to go, a lot can happen. And I think that just egged me on. Then I got a bit more feedback from the tyres and I was like, oh, this is really going good. And all of a sudden, 3 or 4 corners, I was like, no, I'm catching him. And I know I can catch him. I can keep going. So, yeah, I think your answer to your question is literally the feeling is still there. Even to after lunch today, I was like, did that really happen? Yeah, it's lovely. But what caught me out even more, which I'm not sure if you're even aware, I went into the weekend 11th in the championship and I finished 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah, I got 3rd in the championship. So it was Johnny who had won going into the weekend. Elliot got 2nd, clear points ahead of me, to be fair. Because I had 2 breakdowns. I was counting a breakdown. So I got 128 score at the weekend. I had a 124 or 7 before. And they're the kind of scores you need. But I was counting a 116, which was a breakdown in the main. Because it's 4 from 5, you see.
Right.
So Elliot was like a clear 14 or 15 points ahead of me in 2nd. But yeah, to get 3rd, I think that it didn't overshadow the win, but it was like, whoa. Like at the start of the year, I said if I finish like top 5 at a national, coming back, I'll be happy with that. To then finish 4th at Shrewsbury, 3rd at Brookthorpe, and then win one here, and then 3rd and a podium 3rd for the whole championship. That was just, I don't think that's settled in either, because I think that's just as good as any of my last 2 or 3 years in the nationals.
Okay.
Yeah. So just, literally the feeling is still there to this minute.
Well, this makes me feel a bit bad with my next question. But I did realise you finished 3rd. So are you just saying 8th nitro racing is just easy?
No, I just
you stroll back in, haven't done any practice.
Hang on a minute, though, Aidan. So you're just saying to Darren that 8 scale's easy, but somehow, and I honestly have no idea what stars aligned, what fucking planets decided to implode, but you TQ'd around at Southport.
Well, yeah.
Does that mean Southport's easy?
Yeah, dead easy, mate. Dead easy, mate.
Okay, that's fine. That's just what the level I'm trying to work at is. You've obviously now,
Well, eight is, I remember when we first got you on, not the last time, the time before, and it was one of the episodes we had the most feedback on. And because you're Darren, and we've spoken before this, the most comments I had was, I never believed anything Darren said. When he comes back, he's going to come back to win. He's not going to come back to enjoy it. He's just going to come back to win. That's like 5 or 6 people said that to me after listening to that episode.
Which is probably right, to be fair.
Yeah, okay.
I think I was just keeping myself protected from you actually lost it, or you're not quite there, or stuff has moved on, and I guess what I should have said was I want to win, but if I don't, then I would have still enjoyed it. That's probably
Yeah.
what I should have said. But
Yeah.
that's more clearer in my head now.
Okay, but back to the original question: is 8th easy?
I mean, it's not easy, I'm sure, but I mean, I guess, I don't know what the answer is to that, really. It's definitely not easy. Nothing's easy.
So, do you think it was just? Do you think you just enjoyed it, and then because you were enjoying it, and because you thought, "Oh, actually, I'm competitive here," you just went a bit more and just focused on the day, or do you think that the fact you don't do it anymore? For people who don't know, this used to be your full-time job. You were full-time, travel around the world, race RC cars.
Yeah, and it's quite funny to see some of the people that are still stuck in that motto, actually, like being at the weekend and stuff, and people sort of saying, "Oh yeah, these are the tyres to use and nothing else." And then when we switch around a bit, it's almost like you can feel they're stuck in that same rut where you're like, "Well, these are the tyres I'm supposed to be using, or this is the compound." And whereas I was like, "Nah, I'm just going to try these," or "I don't think that's quite doing that. I'm just going to try these." It's just all the pressure was off. To be fair, I think it's a very good car. I knew I had a good engine. I think it was just focus. Yeah, just a lot more concentrated focus. Been away, time to reflect, time to look on what I'd done before and what I could do different this time. And I think I was just as organised or more organised than ever, even though I didn't know the stuff I had. In a way that I knew what to do on the track. At least I had it. It was there. Everything was organised. Pretty much had everything I needed. With obviously all the help from CML and Associated and Proline. So I think it was just I think it just pure focus. Literally, all my energy's gone into those 5 events rather than 52 events.
Okay, yeah,
If that makes sense.
yeah, it does.
Do you feel like, obviously, you've had this break, you've obviously had work commitments, etc. in the past? There's obviously less pressure because it's not your job anymore. You know, like you said, you're there to enjoy it. If you win, fantastic. If you don't win, yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean, there was an email sort of come out from CML sort of back when I got everything and got settled, and even a sort of comment from Dave Bailey at the weekend, or probably a couple of weekends when I was probably getting a little bit frustrated, like, "Oh, I want to do this or I won't do that," and he's like, "All right, well, try this," he said, "but just make sure you enjoy it. Don't keep coming back, sort of trying to do this or trying to do that or trying to win. Just just enjoy it like you wanted to." So yeah, we had great laughs. There was good fun. Yeah, it was just a lot more lighthearted. Yeah, a lot more lighthearted. So,
And the CML team from the outside, I know a lot of them cross over from 10th to 8th, but there's also a whole other piece of 8th CML team that I don't know. Seems like a good group of people to work with and get on. Are you enjoying just as much as are you enjoying your time in the pits with the rest of them?
yeah, really good. Yeah, there's a lot of new faces to the industry that I hadn't known before, like the Hall brothers, the Hall family. They're lovely. Freddie and Sean Thompson, also just as lovely, and working alongside Dave Bailey, who's obviously CML through and through. And then Nick and Neil. Mick and Neil. Yeah,
Never
Mick and
heard
Neil.
of them. Never heard of them.
Yeah, Mick and Neil, who obviously I've known for 25 years, I guess. Watching Neil go around Batley Buggy Club lap after lap, just when I was a nobody, just watching every lap, and my dad saying, "Oh, go and watch him, go and do this, go and do that," and thrashing around his B4. To then obviously, sit with them and enjoy it. And I don't think I've ever sort of pitted with them. Maybe at a Euros temp scale here or there, but not, you know what I mean? Not profusely, really.
Yeah.
So just a great setup, great team. All the tents, just all the tents set up. No arguments between anyone. There's real great respect between us all on the track, and I think it maybe just comes down from the team himself. Where it's sort of, you're not just dog eat dog world or each other. It's just, give way to each other, help out, and we're all trying to help each other get better, not just one for themselves. So
Yeah. I think we've seen CML really have stepped up on everything for the last 10 years, and I think it looks all really good. So, I'm going to, sorry, Mark, I'm going to steal your question. So, will we see a return to 10th?
well, I mean, it's a long way off, I think. Did I mention about that sort of plan I had to get to the Euros and stuff? Did I mention that last time?
No, carry on.
No.
Well, the Euros next year is in Redovan again, which is like Alicante,
Yes.
Oh.
which is a nice, easy place to. Yeah, it's just like 15 minutes from Torrevieja, which was a nice place before. Great track, easy to get to. I finished fourth. I had a bad semi-final. The track was like a minute long. I don't know if you remember it. Massive Spanish track, ape scale, 2016.
Loads of elevation over one side.
Loads of
Yeah,
elevation,
yeah.
like a massive hill. Like the driver's stand felt like it was 100 foot in the air at one end, because the driver's stand was level and the track underneath went right to left, completely downhill. 8 or 10 meters elevation, as far as I can remember. Yeah, so great track. I had an awful semi. I tried a tire. Didn't work out, which is probably why everyone's a bit scared to, because it bites you. I had a crash on the back jump, and it was like a 15-foot tabletop, and I sat there for ages. So luckily, I still bumped. I was almost not in the main, but I started last, genuinely last, climbing up through the field because I was faster than everyone. Without being rude, I just ended up at the back because of what happened in the semi. Got all the way to the front. I think Runner Falk and Battle broke out because their servos broke. Elliot nipped the win. Neil got third and I got fourth. So to go back there would be great. I think it suited my driving. I'd like it. But the other thing is also, which I've now qualified for, is the Worlds. But the Worlds are supposedly being cancelled from, and I don't know how true this is, but cancelled from Brazil next year. And they were supposed to be in Redovan in let me get this right, 2024.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
supposedly, because of Brazil being Brazil and dangerous, no one would end up going there, boycotting it, all of that. Supposedly, they're sort of bringing Redovan forwards, and the World's potentially there next year. So, I mean, coming back into it like that, qualifying for those, and then doing a Euros and a Worlds, like potentially 4-hour flight from your house, is a great opportunity. So that's what I'm aiming to do. To be honest with you, and I know this obviously podcast is aimed around temp scale, but I've really gone off temp
It's the
scale.
cool stuff.
Yeah, I've just really gone away from it. I mean, the tracks, I just love the dirt. I know that I've got a real issue with oil tracks as well in the UK. Just with that slightly too high bite, and stuff like that. Our cars are supposed to slide and move around and just have a bit more give. I mean, it's the same for everyone. Don't get me wrong. I would just prefer it to be on a natural dirt scenario, but I know that it's hard for the track builders to keep up with it. But yeah, and the temp scale is just slightly enhanced even more than that, isn't it? It's like tyres every single run. Tracks are the same from 25 years ago almost. I mean, a Southport surface has changed, but the track hasn't. Stotfold hasn't.
Corners are still in the same place at Southport, yeah.
Yeah, literally the same thing. So, yeah, I just get slightly less of a buzz from temp scale than I do ape scale, to be honest.
Okay, so I've actually written Euros Worlds Redovan ? Because I'd heard that the Worlds might move to Redovan.
Oh, you had heard that as well.
Yeah. Something else. And strange you mentioned Torrevieja. That's where my mum and dad's house in Spain is.
Oh, lovely. Do they want to rent it out in August next year?
Yeah, they might do actually, mate. It's got 4 bedrooms and a pool.
Oh, lovely.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
There we go. But unfortunately, I might be there.
Extra lap on tour. Come on.
Extra lap on tour to Redovan.
We will do a live from Redovan on a Tuesday afternoon or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be good.
This might bite me in the foot, but I might just say that the person that's been on extra lapped most voluntarily times gets to come along, hoping and crossing everything that's me.
Well,
now you're going to tell me that like Ronner Folk's been on here 6 times or something, and I'm out of the question.
No, only twice.
That's it. I beat him.
I generally think you are now. No, I think Craggy's been on one
Craggy.
more than you has.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? Oh,
Yeah.
Because he's such a legend, and we love him
Such
to
a
pieces.
legend.
He loves this the same as you do. He
Yeah.
loves talking to some complete absolute nobodies.
Oh, well, maybe you just have to take the top 3 then.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I say
I don't know.
because we're all good Schumacher drivers, so we're open to 8th choices. Oh no, Martin
Yep.
isn't. He's dirty ass
Yeah.
works. But you know, I'm not being funny. Me and Joey could be like your pit crew.
Groupies, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, groupies even better
Beer
than
tent. Beer tent.
oh yeah,
You could be in control of the beer tent.
yeah, a lot of churros. You know, a lot of churros in that part of Spain. Mate,
Yeah.
that'll be awesome. So maybe then I don't want you to do 10th because I'd rather you then not but leave 10th alone completely because we could be having you on twice next year when you win the Worlds and the
Oh
Euros
God.
at Redovan.
Shall I say it now?
Yeah, say it now.
If I win the Euros in Redovan next year, you better text me that same day.
Wait, if you
There
win,
you go.
when you
Oh,
win the
God.
Euros at
That's it. I've
Redovan,
said.
I want you on
I
that
think-
night.
I think we're all getting a bit carried away now.
No,
Let's take it back a tone, back to the rental property.
yeah,
I think that was
respect,
more of
yeah.
that was a more realistic conversation.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's like Dublin in the. Sorry, this is like an advert for my dad's place in Spain. It's like Dublin in the sun. No Spanish people there, just Irish people.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've got actually a couple of cousins that are looking at moving out. To be honest, one's looking at moving out. One's just looking at a holiday home, but not. I don't know where.
We're sorry, people. We're in between La Zenia and San Miguel de Salinas. There's only 3 golf courses around the place.
Oh, lovely. My son would love that.
My next door neighbour doesn't have a car. He just has a golf cart.
Out the back of his.
Literally, that's all he does. Sorry, people, for the advert. At least it's be better than me talking about financial services. So I think I've done me. Literally, we did. I've gone on a bit. So, did you enjoy your 8th? Is there anything you didn't enjoy about your 8th season? And maybe answer leading question towards high grip, heavily oiled tracks.
No, I know what actually I mean, that's the way it's going. It is what it is. If it means we have more tracks on offer, then so be it. I mean, I guess I'm certainly all right on driving on it. So if it keeps going that way, then hopefully I'll be all right. No, actually, what I was going to say was I think I'd quite like to camp, or at least maybe not camp. That sounds like tent, but maybe motorhome. Because I was quite jealous of like the people that are like all putting the barbecue on when we're packing up and trudging to a hotel. And if I'm honest, the hotel just it's just all a bit boring. I've done hotels all over the world for 20 years.
It's something I said that, over the years, tent scale has started to lose his, when me and Dan were racing, you guys would camp, your dad, and then you obviously had Truman would camp and.
Yeah, all of us. Yeah, I mean, I remember like racing laps of Bury St Edmunds at like 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Barely been able to
talk to me
anything.
about Bury St Edmunds.
Oh, why? Go for it. I don't know what story you're about to say. Oh, the only story I do remember is Phil Truman stabbing a screwdriver all the way through his hand. But never mind.
Do you not remember being at Bury St Edmunds in a pub with Lee Martin and almost getting in a fight with the landlord's son?
No.
You were a pain in the ass.
That was probably the same night we ended up racing around the track.
It was.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And I was probably only about 15, unfortunately.
Yeah, you were a pain in the ass.
Or maybe less.
Yeah. Lee. I think Lee decided to throw a glass at the landlord's son in the local pub on the corner.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And it got a bit heated.
I don't remember that whatsoever.
Oh yes. Yeah, you probably wouldn't. But yeah, it was funny.
Well, what year was it?
Would have been.
Joey normally knows the year.
2001, probably 2000. It would have been the same year as the TV.
Oh, same year as the Euros.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2001 or 2003.
I can't remember. It's too long ago. 2003.
No, it couldn't have been, because then I'm about to tell you how old I was then.
Let's have a look.
But then I did grow up going around the world of Lee, so that says it all, really. Basically, I mean, yeah, I was born in '89, so
Wow,
I was potentially
children.
only 13.
2002.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 13.
Well, again,
Probably why I'm the way I am now. Thanks, Lee.
yeah, well, kind of being in pubs. Yeah, I do. I'm the person Joey hates over many things, but one of those things is that my lot are the people who leave the racetrack and go to stay in a Premier Inn or Travelodge. And then they
Yeah,
stay in that pub. And I do feel sometimes that, you know, everyone's having a great time and there's a great atmosphere, but, you know, even sharing a bed with my mate Steve Ball is better than being in a tent.
I mean, I understand, you know, some people have got requirements. I mean, you know, my old man's not a spring chicken anymore, and you know, he was even starting to struggle towards our last national season, sort of camping. He was getting old, it's cold, it's wet. He's just like, I don't want to be doing this shit, which I can understand. But like I say, it kind of took an element away.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something back in the temp scale days that was really good fun. Definitely. But yeah, I'm sure there's all different mod cons now. Like you can have a tent, big block bed, heater. I'm sure it's got better than it was.
Yeah.
So is that the conversation that you're having with the missus at the moment? Do you know what, darling? I think we should go camping on these weekends that I'm not racing.
No, definitely not then.
You don't think so?
I think it's a racing thing. No.
Okay. Well, no, I just think that's the reason we then have to spend £20,000 on £30,000 on a camper van.
Yeah.
And then you use it for, oh no, don't worry about that. That's where that's where we nitro buggies go.
No, I don't think that'd work. It would have to just purely be racing excuse.
Okay. And then I think the other bit, which you're talking about kids, young people being in pubs, I think one of those things is, I think you get away with that at race events. Because, you know, if there's like one 15, 17-year-old lad and the rest of them are like 30, 35-year-olds and like that fella's dad's with him, then you can get, you can drink in the pub. They're not going to sit there and go, you know, he's all right.
And it was 20 years ago. I think the world was a different place.
The world was a different place. Probably better. Everton were good because, as far as I'm aware, we're getting beat by QPR right at this moment in time, which is never a good thing if you want to talk about football.
No, definitely don't want to talk about football.
Darren, it's been brilliant.
Yeah, no, thanks again. That was great. And thanks for remembering me on Sunday night.
No, it's no problem. We love them. Before we let you go, would you like to thank your sponsors?
Yeah, of course. It's definitely time for that. I guess last time I bailed out in case I forgot one, but so I guess everyone, Craig Drescher, Dave Bailey at CML, Wes, Jason Varley, everyone that helped obviously sort it out, and the guys across the pond have contributed as well. CML, Associated, Proline, Savox, Block Engines from the guys over in at rprc.com. Yeah, and just everyone involved, really. Gail for helping me pit, the Lewises just for making it fun, and just the whole Associated CML team that's just been a part of it. Yeah, new faces and old.
It's been brilliant. We love it when people say things on our podcast, then we can bring them back on in 18 months' time when these things happen. We love it when we can. I have to message people we booked and bump them. And then it's great because that person then sends a message, goes, "Who have I been bumped by?" And I literally
Can I ask
like,
who I bumped?
Andrew Jones.
No,
him. Well, no, it would have been Andrew Jones is coming soon, but it would have been Andrew Jones. But literally, then they go, "Who have you been bumped by?" And I go, "Bloomers," and they go, "Oh, that's okay. He's much faster than me." So it's great to speak to you. It's great to listen. It's great to hear, you know, how excited you are, and you know, it would be great for you to continue to do these things and for us to just be excited by 8th, because it does look like we've had a great year. 8th have held all the nationals. I've ran a full season, and it's great we should say congratulations for Johnny for winning it.
Definitely. I definitely spoke to him all the way through at stages, and I've been there before, so it was, definitely someone I could sort of give some helping words to, and I don't begrudge him winning it. It's good. He's definitely put the effort in. He was looking like it leading up to it, so it wasn't an unexpected show like Holy King in the Worlds. He's definitely been beating the other guys at the races leading up to it. So fully deserved. Definitely fully deserved.
That's it. And again, you should mention. I suppose it might be some time before you go to another 8th meeting, but never mind getting 8th people on this podcast. The 8th people should have their own podcast. Surely there must be somebody in the 8th section who likes talking as much as I do. And then, they can do some coverage as well. But Darren, thanks very much for your time, and we'll speak to you again soon. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, everybody. Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Bye now.
Darren.
Cheers.
Well, that was great speaking to Darren. Really great. I love it when people say, phone me when this happens, and it happens, if we can get them on. It was great speaking to Richard the King Saxton last week. I enjoyed it by myself, guys. Nice and easy. I don't think I need you to.
You only did half of it on your own, plonker.
Oh, yeah. Martin turned up and saved me in the afternoon, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, Joey, have you done any racing?
Nope. Absolutely zero.
Okay, right. Joey ticked off. Martin, did you win your club's summer championship?
I did.
When was the last time you did that?
I think about 6-7 years ago. Maybe before that. Or I may have never won it. I'm not sure.
Did you get a cup with your name on it? Can we go back and look at the cup?
I get something, not until the AGM, I think, or I don't know, at some point.
So why have you never won it before?
Because I'm never there. Because I'm always off pushing up the G final at the national.
Oh, right, okay. Wow. Never thought of that. To be honest, that's when Southport tends to hold its competition events. Like its summer competition. We used to run them always up against nationals. Because that was like a free weekend. That's a free weekend to a club, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you certainly don't have a lot of national drivers, we have got thousands. I've got some points, so I'll start talking points, and you guys can tell me clearly the most important point. Hashtag Schumacher family. Hashtag GoJ Concepts.
Yeah.
It was announced this week. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it was announced yesterday that Schumacher in the UK can distribute J Concepts. I'm super excited. Have you guys looked through? Have you ordered anything yet?
No.
I don't need to order anything because I'm not going racing anytime soon. So
you're able to get some 8th tyres, mate.
Yeah, that could be handy.
Could be handy. So obviously, I think it's great. I think it'd be great to see maybe more J Concept stuff be sorted for Schumacher. That would be great. And I think a lot of my other friends who's at Southport who don't run Schumachers is great for them, because I know a lot of them are big fans of J Concepts, and some of them, order it direct from Florida and things along those lines. So for it to come back in, I think the post even says there's containers on the sea. So as long as you don't run out of fuel on the way here, as long as you don't get caught in customs, there's going to be loads of J Concept stuff coming in. So maybe we should be speaking to our J Concept friends to get one of them on to chat to them about all the cool J Concept stuff we can buy. Not that I'm obsessed, but the jackets look cool. The hats look cool.
Still don't fit your fat head though.
they do not fit my fat head. You don't do that. But that's amazing. Well done, everyone at Schumacher, for sorting that out.
Good
Okay.
job.
I would like to mention that Southport's got new carpet. And I'm going to suggest that we change the phrase EOS carpet to MB Models carpet, because Borley from MB Models is now the UK distributor of, I think it's Texway. I think that's the carpet that we try and use.
Yeah.
I know at Southport we were thinking of buying new carpet. It was difficult because I couldn't. Is it made in France and used to be made in France and sold in Belgium?
Something like that.
Something like that. And we were always unsure about what we were going to buy, how we were going to sort it. The carpet we have now is great. It was the old Milton Keynes Grand Prix 2 carpet. It was Silverstone's carpet, but that was the one that turned up the expected black and came as grey.
Yeah.
Which clearly isn't the same as black carpet. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't act the same. So again, we saw a picture of MB Models putting up where the old UK distributor of this carpet. And it was great that I didn't need to do this. Kev at Southport spoke to Borley, and he had a picture of 5 rolls of carpet. That picture of 5 rolls of carpet in MB Models is now sat in Southport. So we'd like to thank Borley and Kev and Super Dave and Dave Scouse for sorting out buying that. We were going to buy new carpet anyway. It just made it so easy. If you were part of a club, thinking of getting new carpet, doing anything along those lines, please speak to Borley. It was the best price that we'd ever seen or heard of carpet. Speak to Borley. And also, we have to be special nice to Borley from MB Models because he told me that he listens. But he is a few weeks behind. So, happy Halloween, Borley. That's probably when you'll hear this bit. Okay. As we are all going indoors, someone messaged me and said, "Can you make sure you tell people to check the bottom of their car for loose screws?" So that's just a general thing for the UK. We're all sensible people. We're all going indoors. We're all going to carpet. Please check the bottom of your car for any loose screws, because I've not been, we don't want to damage that stuff. Guys, do you do that? Do you check your own car for loose screws?
Yes. Run your handle on the bottom of it.
Don't need to. Don't go racing indoors. Not
No,
square.
you don't. No,
You
don't
have gone racing indoors.
Yeah.
You
No.
came with me.
Okay. I've been racing indoors with you. Yes. And that's probably the only time I enjoy going indoor racing.
Okay.
There you go.
If Martin's not there, it ain't worth shit.
Exactly.
You just don't want. Scared of roofs. That's what it is, Joey, isn't it? You're scared of a roof.
Absolutely terrified.
If I said that Mark Santamaria reached a milestone on YouTube subscribers, would any of you like to guess of how many YouTube subscribers?
70,000.
Wait, hang on. Sorry, hang on a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to work out who
Mark Santamaria is. Yeah.
Sorry, it may sound disrespectful. I'm completely thingy. I'm gonna get
The
this
YouTube
wrong.
guy, yeah.
California way, something like that.
No,
Texas.
No, Southern Naps way.
I see. I don't.
Texas.
America.
There you go. America. You're a
Would
bit
you like to have a guess? Have a guess.
70,000, same as Martin.
Oh, that's handy. Because clearly Martin saw that. Yeah, congratulations, Mark Santamaria, getting 70,000.
Oh, is it right? Boom.
Yeah. Because he just looked at Facebook and it told him.
But for some reason, I am a subscriber. Don't worry.
Okay. Mark is something that
he's not worried either.
Yeah. No, let's all unsubscribe. So he's now 69,997. Only us three. Don't do that, clearly, people. If you're not aware who Mark Santamaria is, fine. Look out for Mark Santamaria on YouTube. I think he does a good mixture of bashing stuff, what we'd call bashing on this podcast, and racing and race videos. I think they're great. I've spoken to Mark a few times. Issue for Mark and us is timing. He still has a proper job. So him still having a proper job when we want to record is the middle of his afternoon, so we just can't do that. But we love. There are other places we can race. Sorry, Joe. He just goes to sleep now, Joe. It's fine.
No, it's fine. Carry on.
There are other places you can race indoors this winter. I know we shared Slough's post today.
No, you have to narrow it down because they'll also have an outdoor dirt track for 8 scale. So don't.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not that one.
No, you shared the indoor.
Yeah, indoor.
I know. I'm just saying, but when you say Slough and you don't give context, people may think, "Oh, 8 scale track. Oh, why would I want to do
8 scale track? Carpet indoors. Check me screws. So yeah,
there you go.
Sam doing all the stuff there.
Genius.
Great. Martin, there's some updates for Clumpton Mid Devon as well. I heard.
We lost our venue, and it looks like they have found a new venue. That's all I know. No dates or anything yet. That's all I know.
I saw a picture of the facility earlier. I think Pinky shared it, and it does look pretty nice. They've done well to get hold of that.
Yeah. I believe it was all down to Stuart Balls, who's done a cracking job. Now they just got to organise it and sort it out. I mean, for me, it's a little bit further away, but it's a venue. It's indoors. It'll be brilliant.
Hotel.
Yeah, it's not like you're traveling like an extra hour just to get absolutely sodden and cold. You know.
Yeah, but if I had a choice of racing outdoors or indoors in the winter and it's dry outdoors, I'm going outdoors.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come to ramp works because it's wet indoors.
Yeah.
That's because somebody in Southport or Liverpool has stolen all your piping and your heating and your roof because they're all parking.
The lead. It's the lead that's gone.
Yeah.
I've been asked many times and I've always forget because I've never checked my notes that a track up in the North Batley, which sort of lost their venue because of an extension to the land they were in, found a new venue over the last few months. I've put looks like a race control and a roster in, and I think they are running on grass at the moment.
So they lost the one. Is it the one that used to be behind the swimming pool?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I loved going there when they had nationals and end of season finals.
Yeah,
that was a story for Darren on that one as well. Oh shit.
Were you there when Craig Drescher tried jumping the rail?
No, but
like physically jumping it. Oh, that was interesting.
We went on the skate park at the end of an. I think it may have been a national, and Darren smashed my truck into somebody's car off the back of the skate ramp. Hilariously funny. Also, then took Dad like 2 years to find all the parts to get it fixed because obviously the stuff coming from the States wasn't exactly fast back then.
Oh. Well, Drescher ended up in A&E, so that was probably not.
To be fair, in the like we were saying, Darren was saying the older days at nationals and stuff. If somebody didn't end up in A&E, then you haven't done a very good job.
Well, yeah,
I like it. So
you weren't trying hard enough, clearly.
So obviously, Batley they've got a new venue. I think it's next to like part of a cricket club. They've already ran a few meetings. They've got a grass track, and because they're tight Yorkshiremen, they're not going to spend for Astro yet. But I think that's where they're going to go. But that's what they've said. They've said that themselves. They're just tight Yorkshiremen. They're not going to pay for Astro at this moment in time. But if they have done all the groundwork, it looks like a great place where they could easily do Astro. They've got the race control, the rostrum's all there, because there's not a lot of actual outdoor racing in Yorkshire. Because York and things along those lines. It looks like a great venue, and I know they're going to try and hold meetings. I think they might hold another one or two outdoors, but then they go indoors to MB models.
Aidan, you're a northerner.
I believe so.
Where is Durham?
Durham is like the southern part of the northeast.
So is it like, I'm going to say
closer to Newcastle. Closer than Newcastle. You'll get to Durham before you'll get to Newcastle.
So we're talking, Middlesbrough? Past Middlesbrough?
I'm not 100% sure.
Well,
Hi,
okay.
everyone. Welcome to GCSE Geography at the Extra Lap podcast.
Well, I'm just doing because obviously Durham, they've got a new track open, haven't they? Or they've had a track open for a while. I like to visit new tracks every. But
Yeah, I'm
no,
going to go to Durham in the summer.
Jesus Christ. Ah, okay. I'm just Google Maps this. Oh, it's past Leeds. Oh,
You can read a map. That's the first.
I can read a map. I'm not a complete moron. I will tell you the
Questionable.
distance.
Just when Martin points out we don't want to be talking about distances or places along those lines, Joey's getting heavily involved into.
I still can't spell Leicester though, and I've lived there for a few years.
No.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, that's a 4-hour journey up north. Maybe.
Durham are good. They,
The track and everything looks absolutely spot on. I give them their credit for all the work they've done. The work that they did during obviously COVID.
I think he
whatnot, and Ryan doesn't race. He just pushes a car around.
He does race there quite.
He
I don't know why you're close at the moment.
I think Alan was looking forward to seeing you at Robin Hood this weekend to show you his true feelings, but apparently you're not going anymore.
No, I know. I've cancelled.
Has Orlowski not tempted you to go?
No, I've got a family do thing on Saturday, so I can't go, unfortunately.
You can go on Sunday,
though. No, I'm going to Rapworks.
Oh.
I'm going to do some carpet practice. But do you know, practice. I'm not going, which means it's not going to rain. So Martin, that's where you're going, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, it's going to rain.
It's not.
I'm sorry.
It's going to be dry.
I'm ever so sorry, but it's every round of the Zoom series, I believe, has been wet. Yes.
It's going to be dry because Aiden's not there. It's going to be dry.
Yeah, so, and if it's dry for both days, everyone's going to be even happy because the Muzz is literally then going to ban me from coming to any future events.
Winner.
Chicken dinner.
So there's bonuses for everybody. But yeah, so if you're at Robin Hood soon, please go and say hello to Martin. Do you know what he looks like? He's the big fella, looks like a bear. Martin, I have got a favour for you.
Go on.
Flask. Well, I'm not there, and I don't know who's there to look after Miklos.
Yeah.
So
is Miklos going?
Is he running a Schumacher?
Of course he is.
Yeah, therefore, he is guaranteed extra help.
Help from Martin.
From Martin, so, anyway. Yeah.
And Miklos likes a lot of help, so I wouldn't want people to just randomly go and speak to Miklos and help him and make sure, let's make it a tug of war. Let's make sure Miklos feels it, even though he's a massive cheat.
What?
Yeah, have you not heard about you don't listen, he did jump starts at the Robin Hood GP, mate.
Jump start is a bit, it's not like he was fiddling his tyres or, taking 217 laps prior to a Worlds event.
We don't know, mate. 1 week he jump starting in the final, the next anything could happen. Do you know what I mean? Anything.
Nice.
You could be taking those little stickers off your tyres at Workshop, I know who's doing that as well, so that'll be fun when I go to Workshop.
Workshop starts in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
No.
Okay.
It must be soon. But I don't know
what we're now, end of September.
Yeah. Normally
not that I could do any of them because, I pretty much work every weekend again. So
I'm waiting for Muzz to figure out who's got it. And I think I can definitely make a couple of them in January. So I think they're the ones I'm planning to go to Workshop. They're the ones I think that's my only travelling. I think Silverstone's going to be a bit too far for me. That's where you're going, isn't it, Martin?
Silverstone. I am, yeah.
That's going to be your main thing. Joey main thing on a Sunday will be watching telly. And I'll be. Well, you're not. What race are you going to do this winter? Yeah.
Well, no, I'm going to be working. I've got about 13 weekends coming up, so that's going to be fun.
So thank you very much for all the hard work, Joey Cutsy.
Actually, Joey does race because he plays Wreckfest on his PC in the evenings.
Yeah.
And he's crap at that too.
Yeah, if you want to play some
Hey.
Wreckfest, message the page.
I'm not of a generation that plays video games. Well, did play video games, but not as successful as the youngsters that clearly play this shit.
Yeah, you clearly know Stone Mountain 64.
Nope, not at all.
Jamie Docking loves it when we talk about video games. It's his favourite thing. Guys.
Well, whilst we're on it, I did find this hilarious little game called Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh, God.
You're like a space dwarf, and you go and shoot aliens and mine rocks. It's genius. It kills hours of fun.
Okay, how everyone else listening to this podcast kills hours of fun by gluing tires. That's what we do, Joey.
I don't need to.
You
don't glue. Hang on a minute. I don't need to glue tires. You certainly don't glue tires.
Glue all my own tires, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's club day now, mate. Back to being Clapton Club Race. No more travelling for me. I think we've gone through all of my list. I think it's really good that Schumacher have sorted out J Concepts. Martin's going to Zoom. MB Models sells carpet. We all love Mark Santa Maria. There's lots of places to race indoors. Please get when your local indoor thing opens up and starts giving dates. Please get booked in as early as possible. It's going to be a strange year for people and things getting back. So let's get booked in nice and early and get your money in. So these sort of indoor venues can make sure they're going to be fine through the season. That's the important thing. Preparing for another week outdoors.
Don't be a moron.
Or don't be a Joey.
Don't be a Joey.
Don't be an Aiden or a Joey. Well, no, it's indoor race. It's don't forget indoor racing is weird to say, but new to us again. How much indoor racing did we get done last year? None.
That works. Loads.
Oh,
loads.
You all infect each other when you have sex with each other because you're all weird northerners. But okay. Your mum's your dad, and your dad's your sister, and whatever.
Joey, again, you're putting you live in the fields in Loughborough. You know what I mean? I'm not being funny. You live. I'm not being funny. Everyone else went to Bruntingthorpe and went, this is the middle of nowhere, and Joey's going, this is like 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah, that's brilliant because there's nobody here. I don't have to deal with people. I love living here.
The rest of the population thanks you. It's been. Do you know what, Martin? I missed him up until the point he turned up.
I know.
Yeah.
So if you'd
so
like
did,
to
so
be
did everybody else.
No, they didn't. If you'd like to be Joey's replacement, please,
by all means,
please message the Extra Lap page. It's good that you message the Extra Lap page because Joey can see them.
I do see them, yeah.
I mean, you would think to do this podcast, you'd need to race.
That is an important thing.
But
hang on, Martin.
Joey's proving it wrong.
Hang on, Martin. I need to be able to race. What do we call what Aiden does there?
Well, he's done. Aiden's done more traveling around to racing than you and I this year. So he's actually gone from Captain Club Race to Captain Hero.
Thank you very much.
I don't know about
did anyone mention about how I TQ'd around at Southport on Sunday?
Did you cheat again? Did you run your 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive?
Wait, what did Eric press on the computer? Did Eric completely naff the computer up and he had to make something up?
No, as Martin said, I was running my 4-wheel drive.
That does not count.
He's that guy, Joey. You know that guy?
Oh,
that guy.
Oh,
when people say don't be that guy, he's that guy.
That's just made me feel sick.
I made sure everybody else knew that's what I was doing. So a few other people did run 4-wheel drive.
Where was your 2-wheel drive?
Like 30 millimeters ride height, black springs front and back, gear diff. It's just I've been running on carpet for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but then that would have been a true representation of where you would have ended up.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, I still would have made the A just because the numbers fall. There's only like 40 odd people go to Southport at the end of the season. I thought I made it. It was. I'm not being.
Still ran a 4-drive and a 2-drive event.
I have a serious question for you two.
Never.
Hold on anymore. I know. It'd be interesting if maybe some listeners let us know. But at Southport, do the numbers seem less this summer than they were pre-COVID?
No, I can give you facts here. Eric confirmed these. The last
cheers,
2 years,
Martin.
the last 2 summers, we've had more races and taken more money than any other year.
Okay. No, it's just the sort of Tiverton and Mendip, the 2 club races I've been to down here the last few months. There's just missing faces. There's people that were there pre-COVID that now aren't there, and there just isn't as many racers. And I'm just wondering, it's obviously maybe just a Southwest thing, or if it was a countrywide thing.
I think recently, once the competitions stop, even though I say the competitions don't matter to me or Tommy, when you get to this point where a kind of outdoors is finishing and indoors is starting, I think I said it on some of my Facebook posts. I know I'm going to get the A today, and 3-4 weeks ago I'd only get the D. So that's just the people turning up. I think that transition changes when the competitions finishes. Less people come.
I think obviously not taking anything away from what Schumacher have done. They jumped in when they knew nationals weren't going to happen. Obviously, all the Zoom rounds have been fantastic from what I've seen, and obviously listening to what you guys have said. But what Martin, I think you're saying is, I think it's because we haven't had nationals or regionals.
Yeah, but I don't think that would affect.
No, but Southport, yes, they've always. I've always said it. Southport has always had a core following over the last sort of few years that I've doing nationals and stuff at Southport. You've always got a same 20 odd faces that always turn up. But I honestly think it has something to do with that. There's been no, a competition of like regionals and nationals this year. Because how many do you get at like a Southwest regional?
Well, about the same as you get a club race down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not joking, but I think the year just gone, the year before, when there was no nationals, no regionals, no
pretty much
travel.
no anything really.
Yeah, but it was just club. Actually, our numbers at Southport were super consistent.
Yeah.
Like 60, 70 every week. And then when we started this season, they were super consistent. And then as soon as we travel anywhere, even I've skipped Sundays, but if someone would go, like Borley went every week, and then he started travelling because he went to Telford and Mendip and Robin Hood GP. And then what happens is if you then do an event, they then miss a week of club racing. So if we actually wanted the best for Southport, I know it's completely different. I'm sorry to only talk about Southport here, but Mendip and wherever Joey might go. Probably 8th. If that's the case, the best thing for club racing is to have no nationals and have no regionals.
I mean, obviously, I can't really say a lot because I haven't done. I haven't done any.
You can still give your view. You don't have to race for a view.
I know. Some people always complain that the calendar was very busy. I mean, I remember a few years ago it was very, very busy. We had a national one weekend, we had a regional the next, and then there was another national the weekend after that. There was another regional. I just think, from my point of view, I think there needs to be more of these Zoom series type meetings alongside the national series. So, say for next year, we the BRC have made the decision the nationals are going ahead. That shouldn't deter, Muzz and Robin and Trish getting together and saying, actually, we've been quite successful this last year. Let's do it again. I think there needs to be more, competitions for Not so much
enjoyed.
the lesser drivers, but people who don't necessarily feel that they want to do nationals, but also it doesn't deter national racers from doing it.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I think, I don't care. I think the 10th national section could learn a lot from the Zoom series. Because as a person who has historically been involved with Southport, and when we put on nationals and things, there was so much less stress. I'm not 100% sure why, but there was less stress, less hassle in the run-up of a Zoom event than there was for national.
I no longer have ties. I no longer have ties to a club, as it were. So it's obviously I don't know. I obviously understand the pressure and stuff leading up to the national because I used to do it with the guys at Stockport. And obviously everybody's pressure points are different with what things they have to do. Like you guys have obviously got paid curving and all that jazz and whatnot. But I think with the Zoom series, and again, I'm not knocking anything or what anyone's done, but it's not a series that's it has meant something, but it hasn't meant something in the long run. You know, with our nationals and our regionals, obviously the regionals mean we get our F gradings, which means we can do nationals. Nationals then obviously equate to things like Worlds places and Euros places, like we were saying with Darren. But obviously the Zoom series hasn't got that impact.
No, without, yeah. But as someone who's like helped Southport run nationals, 3s, 4s, and 5s, and Zoom series, everybody at Southport, there was less requirements put on us. The meeting still ran to exactly the same thing. There was better communication from Zoom than we get from the 10 section. You know, it just felt easier to do.
But if someone said
to, yeah, could be. But if someone said to me, "Do you want to run a Zoom or do you want to run a national?" I'd say Zoom because it was just easier. No, we're only talking nonsense. No one really, no one listens. 1,000 people listen, but no one. We're just talking about our views. But I think there are certain things the 10th section could take from the way this has been run. I really do. And if you want my one thing, because we have to end this, because we had Darren on for ages and we've been doing this and we've carried this on all the time. If the one thing I would take from the Zoom, the first thing I'd take from the Zoom is I'd drop 20 people out of a national and have 100, not 120.
Okay.
There we go.
Why? Yeah, because see now.
Why?
Me and Dad have had this conversation, and why is a very good counter question to this. Why would you drop numbers from the main national series?
Because I don't think if it's a national series, then dropping the bottom 20, and I haven't prepped this, but dropping the bottom 20 doesn't affect the national series. Those 20 people at the bottom could concentrate more on regionals. I think if you look at the bottom 20 for a lot of, I think if you look at the bottom 20 for a lot of the nationals, they are local. They are more often than not the local people who have just turned up to do that one. And I think if you talking to somebody who's helped lead a club during a national, the hardest thing, and I think this is going to be the problem with the 10th nationals coming back and then saying we want this and clubs going, I don't think we need to do that anymore. Dropping that 20 gives you extra time. You'd have an earlier finish on Sunday. You could marshal your own practice. You could probably get an extra round in. I don't do nationals. I'd say the first thing I would. That's why I was
going to say spoken like a true person that's never done them.
No, hang on, no. Right, I'm not talking about enjoyment for you lot, the people who do them. I'm talking about running the event. Not having those 20 people there just gives more time, more sorting. I don't see why.
It doesn't.
Well, okay, it does because I run them. I know.
Right. If you take 20 people away from the national series,
yes,
then our perhaps our fees go up. Instead of £24 for a weekend, it's now £30 for the weekend. Because we then have to counteract that loss of income.
Yes.
Right? Not necessarily.
10
you're
section
saying
doesn't need any money. It's got loads.
Okay, regardless of how much the BRCA have is irrelevant, but at the end of the day, it's a business. At the end of the day,
it's a business that's made
their money.
£20,000. No, it doesn't have to make any money.
Again, that's irrelevant. Nobody outside of this needs to know that what they've got or what they haven't got. But again, if you then say, right, that's 20 people out of the way, that's an extra 20 minutes, 30 minutes we gain. Perhaps we can have an extra round of qualifying, whatever. But what happens if you have a computer failure or you have,
It's extra time. You can sort it.
An act of Jesus that stops us.
You know the simple answer to this. There's an AGM at the end of October.
Guys. As I said, I don't run nationals, but from my view of the club,
it befuddles me.
It would make it better. We go back to the thing we've argued about before. I think you national people are too cosseted and don't know what it's like in the real world. And the Zoom series has been the real world. And you're talking about a thing that everything's great. You've got a chairman who doesn't want to do the job and try to retire for 3 years. You haven't got a ref. You haven't got a timekeeper. Figure out.
But these
got bigger problems.
We have still got a timekeeper because, as far as I'm aware, Gareth hasn't gone anywhere.
Okay, sorry.
But it's what Martin's just pointed out. Someone who doesn't do nationals, it's very simple. I have said this in the past before as well. If you have a genuine concern or a what you think is an improvement, turn up to the AGM, voice your opinion, get someone to.
I can voice my opinion by turning around going, if I have a choice at Southport about whether I run a national or a Zoom, and you said we should have both, I'll run a Zoom, not a national.
But then that's then what happens if a Zoom series doesn't run that year?
Okay, Southport's a bit of an issue. We don't care.
He's. I get what Aidan's saying. I get what Aidan's saying.
No, I get what Aidan's saying, but at the same time, I've had the same conversation with people in the past. If you are not happy with the way the BRCA are running the 10th section, turn up to a 10th scale AGM and voice your opinion, because at least you can then turn around and say, well, if it didn't get through, I was there and I tried to make an impact. Whereas you've got some morons, and I've had arguments with these morons in the past, who can bitch and moan and complain that the AGM is 900 hours away from their house, but then they still piss and moan. I understand. Martin has to travel. I get that. Martin sometimes hasn't been able to travel because of certain things going on, but Martin still attends and puts his voice forward for his region. My dad's the same. Some nights my dad's had to finish work late, and he's only, he's got to the AGM late. But there's some people complaining about it, but then they don't do anything to help. They just bitch and fucking moan.
Joe, 3 people who do stuff to help is us 3, because we talk about it. Then hopefully the 4 other people who listen to this, 5, Bloomers will. Those 5 people.
No, Darren doesn't. Remember, he doesn't listen back.
He doesn't listen now. In fact, Martin didn't listen to the other one. So I said, if you want to hold 2 series, that's great. But I think
there are definitely
as somebody who runs them, the meeting, if it came to a choice of which one, I'm going to pick the nice one, the easy one to run. I'm not going to pick the other one.
But again, going back to the nice and easy one, doesn't have consequences at the end of it.
Well, I don't care, do I? I don't care whether there's consequences or not.
No, you don't, because nationals aren't your thing. That is not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone like myself, Martin, nationals are a big deal, and we've done them for so long. So when what irks me the most is when someone who is a non-national racer, who obviously has seen all the big lights of these, like the Oopals and the Zooms and stuff.
Yeah. But Joey, Aidan has organised. He's not.
I understand.
I know Joey's not picking on me, guys.
No. That's the thing. I'm not picking on Aidan, because I know Aidan has been at Southport to arrange for nationals. He's done the end of season finals and all that jazz. I understand what Aidan is saying, But when you've got other people who don't have a general idea of what we are doing or what goes on, and then they start, chipping their 2 cents in, but then don't do anything about it, and then bitch and moan for 6 months afterwards, it's kind of frustrating.
It always is, mate.
You must know, Martin, as well.
Always is.
You've been a BRCA rep for how long?
Yeah, no, I completely get it. My one thing is they need to make it. The meetings, the AGM is a hard thing to attend. I mean, for me, it's in Leicester. It's what 3-hour drive for an AGM.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. COVID. We're in the world of doing stuff online.
There are. I'm not sitting here in any way, shape, or form and saying the BRCA is the be all and end all, and and nothing goes wrong, because there are things in the past that I've seen that like the UPOL guys do, and I've seen like the Zoom guys do, and other meetings around the world do, that maybe the BRCA can implement. But as I've been told in the past, we have to be careful because BRCA follow like the IFMA stuff.
Excuse me, I was talking to somebody else. Someone said to me, "Do you think the BRCA is perfect?" And my answer was yes. The BRCA section. Look, they put a post on, as in the big BRCA is perfect, because not that long ago, a couple of days ago, they put a post on Facebook saying, "If you want to help, let us know. If you've got an hour to spare on the computer, let us know." The BRCA are doing everything they can. But, if we want to, we can't have these different events and then not learn from them.
No, of course not.
I mean, it's funny, say the Zoom was a nice, easy thing. And for you guys, it was. For me, it was pretty stressful because not bad prep, not lack of people, not lack of skills, just because it was a big meeting. And it was for me a stressful 2 days. But if you said to me at my club, what if I had a choice between running a national there or a Zoom or an UPOL or a regional, the first thing I'd ever want there is a national, because it's pride. When your club holds a national, you've been picked, you've been voted in to run an event. And I have this issue not just with nationals. It used to be if you got a regional, your club was doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, and maybe due to what you're saying, Aidan, you probably have a good point. Clubs now go, don't really want to do that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hassle.
Mm-hmm.
But if everyone took that same thing, we wouldn't have the great events we have in this country. We wouldn't have had the Euros at Tiverton in 2002. We wouldn't have had the Euros at Robin Hood, the events at Basildon, the Worlds. These things would never happen because no one would want to do it.
No, and to be honest, the only people, let's end the podcast with me talking about how good I am, but which is the best way we should end every podcast. But maybe the only people who have got our views, it's only Southport, Telford, and Robin Hood. I've got those views because they've had a Zoom and have had more than regular nationals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so maybe maybe you speak to Tony Bishop, maybe you speak to the Robin Hood, the Pierces and the Galleys and the Hellywells, and turn around and see what they sit there and think about what was different, what was better, what was easier. Those are the things, because those are the bits that are going to do it. Clubs don't, clubs go to me, should we apply for a national? Yeah, of course you can do it, but there is something there. The world has changed. I'm just sitting here waiting for my email off the 10th section saying, "Hey, does Southport want a national next year?" I'm waiting for them. We've not had 10th nationals. That's the most important thing about 10th in this country. It is the most thing I am proud of that we have. It is the greatest system in the world for 10th racing. But and that's one of the reasons why we have Joey on this podcast. Things have got to change. They do need to change.
Yeah, but
You've got
you're
they
saying
do
you're
need to
saying
change.
you're saying they need to change,
Mm.
right? So, but as Martin has suggested, and I will suggest again, get in your car, drive to the AGM, and voice your opinion to Wurzel,
No,
Yardy,
no. If
and the
I
rest
go,
of
that's
them.
fine because I'm not being funny. Everyone knows what my opinion is. I think the whole thing should change. So no, that's a great thing.
Yeah,
No
but
one's going to vote for me.
okay.
But we should end this here, and we'll restart it again next week. We're not the No Name podcast. We're not going to do 7 hours. But I've
Oh,
missed you both, Joey.
Oh,
Just
yes,
because
mate.
you're here, would you like
Yeah,
to
man.
thank your sponsors?
I'd love to. I'd also like to apologise for the lack of racing. Unfortunately, my real life, keeping a roof over my head has taken more precedence over racing. But as always, the guys at Schumacher, Robin, Trish, Muzz, all the guys in the factory, Factory Fred Racing, Brian at Screws for RC, Reds Racing, RC House. Just forgot I needed to add that one on there now as well.
Well done. To be honest, that was a bit of a test, Joey, to see if you could remember who these people were.
I've probably forgotten some by accident.
But I don't think you have. Other than your dad. Oh, we've mentioned him more than once.
He doesn't need to. He knows. He knows.
Yeah,
He doesn't listen. He doesn't listen anyway. So.
Loads
But yeah,
of people.
let's just also on the line of ourselves. Just congratulate Sean on being able to do what he's done, and it's not easy setting up an RC business, especially in the current climate that we're in. And let's hope he continues to thrive as he has done this year.
Sean and RC House does seem to be kicking out the park nowadays. Guys, please, nobody's listening to this bit now, but please like and share the podcast. Please like and share all the podcasts when they can be bothered to do one. Please remember to, just if you see someone else's post on Facebook, then just like it, just follow the content. We haven't had time to talk about RC Racing TV on that kind of, it's like Sky Sports News type of RC coverage. I'm sure we'll do that in the future. If you think you would, because UK people don't want to come on because they, for some reason, if you want to come on the podcast, message us. If you think your mate's going to be good on the podcast, message us. We can get superstars any day of the week. We want to talk to the people that we race with. If you're that kind of person, go and speak to Martin in Robin Hood this weekend, and he'll put you on our list. Guys, honestly, I love you two the most. But I'm also quite fond of Mark Roxford. Guys, see you tomorrow. Bye now.
see you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.